Social media is a huge place. As of 2019, it has roughly 2.95 billion users worldwide, all creating content. So how do you make social media content that can cut through all that traffic? And what does good social media content look like anyway? First off, it's not always about chasing those likes. There are many different types of content out there, from broadcasting new information, to raising awareness for a campaign, or encouraging behaviour change. Ultimately, good social media content is audience-focused, timely, engaging, and platform-specific. In this video, we're going to cover the basics of what good quality social media content looks like. Content that is relevant to your audience and helps you achieve your communication goals. Number 1. Know your audience. We've established that social media is a busy place. But did you know people's attention spans are actually shrinking? That's right. Our average attention span is now less than that of a goldfish. Seriously. So how do you make people stop, look at your content, and engage with it when they're scrolling through their feed? To start, you need to ask yourself the question, why should they care? Social media users are mass consumers. They consume new media, entertainment, and information, often several times a day. So think about what value you can add to their lives through your content. Secondly, are you sharing new content with them, or are you educating or entertaining them? Keep this in mind and tailor your content by asking, what does my audience need? By creating content with the user need in mind, you increase the likelihood of them engaging with it and sharing it. If you create content that speaks to their interests, they'll share it with other like-minded people and so on, which allows your content to grow. You'll also need to remember that social media is public, so your content needs to be written or presented in a way that's understandable by everyone. This leads to the third thing to ask yourself when it comes to your audience. Who are they? Try to think beyond just the general public. Be precise and specific with who you want to reach. Know your audience. What are their interests, jobs, age groups? How do they consume information? Are they already engaged in this topic? Are they likely to already be following your organisation or know about the work it does? Be specific and make sure you understand who you are targeting and what kind of language and imagery resonates with them. Doing some research to get audience insight will help you find out how to tailor your content so that it is relevant to their interests and gets that cut through. Once you know who you're targeting and why they should care, you need to create content that will get their attention. Number 2. Engaging content. Here are 5 tips on how to make your content engaging. See what we did there? Engaging content needs to be attention-grabbing, and there are a variety of techniques you can use to achieve this. Say the important words first. When writing social media copy, the first few words are the most crucial. Ensure that the main point or subject you want to get across is the first thing people read. Let's look at a made-up example. The Secretary of State for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs has introduced a new bill that will see 10,000 trees planted every year to fight deforestation. This is written in a very matter-of-fact way, but it's not actually factual. We've made this bill up. But it's also impersonal, and it takes a very long time to get to the main interesting point. Here is the copy rewritten with the main message at the front, which is also known as front-loading. This copy focuses on the impact the news will have on wider society, which is what our audience will find most interesting. Use high-quality, relevant visuals. Now we have some social media copy, we need some visuals to go with it. Grab your audience's attention with a relevant eye-catching image or video clip. With video, the first 1 to 3 seconds are the most important, as this is what most viewers will use to decide if they want to continue watching, so make them count. With images, avoid using stock imagery that is very obviously stock, as it looks impersonal and cheesy. If any visuals feature people in them, ensure that they show diversity that's reflective of our society. This is important to think about when working with influencers too. Stock images do have their place, but make sure you're using them wisely and match the tone of your video and the message you're trying to get across. In our example, we're using stock images of trees that are bright and eye-catching to tell our story. Images and video should be high quality, not blurry or pixelated, and appropriately optimized, cropped and resized, for both desktop and mobile. But don't worry, your images and video don't always need to be 4K. Smartphone cameras can work just fine, and we have a video on how to take good images or videos from your phone. Tell a story with your videos. Brilliant visuals can often speak for themselves, but it's also important to engage people with a structured video script that reinforces your message. Whether you're creating an informative video clip or featuring a case study, always lead with your key message first, paired with relevant visuals that represent it and can tell a story instantly. If the viewer is interested, they'll keep watching, and this is where you can provide more of the detail to add context or information. Finally, end your video with a call to action that motivates your audience to share the message or take part in some kind of action. What your call to action should be depends on what your objectives are for that content. Objectives. Having clear digital objectives is really important when making good content, because when you reach your evaluation stage, how will you know if it's good or not if you haven't set out what you want to achieve? Therefore, it's important that you set out your objectives and how you'll evaluate your work at the very start of your content creation planning process. We have a video dedicated to objectives and evaluation, so be sure to check it out. Accessibility. Good social media content is accessible to all. It's also the law. Under the 2010 Equality Act, all social media content from the government must be accessible. This means all of our videos include subtitles. Subtitles should be large enough to be read on a mobile phone, placed on subtle background shading to improve contrast, proofread by at least one other person before being published. Subtitling also increases engagement and view rates, as many people watch videos on mute when scrolling through social media feeds. For videos that don't feature individual speakers, but instead focus on text over images or footage, we also include a voiceover. Check out our accessibility video in this series for more detailed tips on how to make your content accessible. Number 3. Channel specific. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. There are a huge range of social media channels out there, and they all have different audience groups, different reasons why people use them, and different ways to publish and engage with content. This means one size does not fit all when it comes to creating good social media content. Good content is tailored to the channel it's posted on, so that it feels native to that platform. You can share the same message, but it needs to be adapted for different channels. You can do this by tailoring your language and optimizing your assets. This means adapting your content on what appeals to your audience on these different channels and making sure it is sized and styled appropriately. Knowing your audience comes into play here. Facebook audiences tend to engage highly with content featuring stories told by people speaking about their personal stories or experience. So, consider approaching any relevant influencers or organisations your audience could relate to and have a story to tell related to the message you want to communicate. They could get involved in your content to help tell the story and bring the message to life in a way that engages your Facebook audience. Equally, LinkedIn is a more career and profession-driven social media site, so you could tailor your content to focus on case studies that feature inspiring stories about an organisation or sector, or content that shows how a business might be innovating in a way that's in line with departmental policy. So there you have it. You now know about the most important elements to making good social media content. To sum up what we've learned, good social media content needs to be audience-focused, engaging, channel-specific, accessible. If you've created content that is front-loaded, tailored to the channel you're posting on, has smart objectives, and you've done your research into your audiences, then you'll have created good social media content.